Jimmy Thang from GameSpot here, speaking with Razer's Chris. And Chris, what are we looking at here today?
So we just launched the HDK2. This is the latest version of our OSVR Hacker Development Kit, and this is the first hardware that's actually on par with the Rift and the Vive. So we upgraded the display HDK2 because it's a dual display solution. So we got 1080 by 1200 per eye, and it's a 90 frames per second display. So essentially, we're now looking at like a display that is on par with anything out there.
When you guys first revealed the Hacker Development Kit, virtual reality headset, you guys were pitching it as like it was something geared for the hackers or developers and things like that. But now you guys are sort of transitioning it into a full-fledged non-consumer device. Is that accurate to say, or?
Yeah, I think that there's so VR as a whole still has ways to go in terms of being fully consumer ready. I would consider this an enthusiast product, I suppose. To get to this full, easy, out-of-the-box experience, VR as a whole, like regardless of which VR solution you go with, isn't quite there yet. But for enthusiasts that are enthusiastic about VR, this is perfectly viable, and not just hackers or developers that can use this.
And so if I buy this thing and I want to play VR games on it, where will I be able to go? Is it going to have Steam support? Is it going to have Oculus Rift Store support? How does that work?
So Steam, yes. Oculus, no. I mean, we want to get as much content as possible supported. So to that extent, we just announced a $5 million dev fund as well. That we fund content developers, game developers in particular, to bring their games to OSVR. We've
exclusive, or is it?
No, absolutely no. So what we're doing with OSVR is no restrictions. So you can make it work with anything else, any other hardware, with any other stores, whatever it is. Zero restrictions. So that's the whole point. We want to enable content developers to go to as many platforms as possible. In fact, it's encouraged to also be on Oculus and also be on Steam and on all platforms as much as possible. Just to help them basically be more financially stable when developing for a somewhat unknown market still, or a small target market. And yeah, so we have native support for Cry and Unreal. We have plugin support for Unity, and through the dev fund we're bringing in more support, and we have proper support on SteamVR as well. So all games that are developed for SteamVR do work on any OSVR enabled device, including the HDK2 as well.
How are you guys handling tracking? I know you guys have said you guys are going to support Steam.
We have a camera somewhere here, which I don't know where, but there are infrared LEDs in there that allow proper, currently primarily for seated experience, but the solution is scalable to a room scale experience in the future as well.
So you won't, as of right now, you won't be able to use the Lighthouse on it?
So Lighthouse, it would be a different technology. I mean, generally Lighthouse within OSVR is supported, so you can get tracking from a Lighthouse through OSVR, but it wouldn't really make sense to combine two different tracking solutions, one inside out, one outside in that sense. So with HDK, you would be using an infrared camera, more similar to the Rift infrared tracking solution.
I guess I'm still my big concern is if I want to play Steam VR games and it does, and you have to use room scale, and this doesn't quite support room scale. How does that work?
So, okay, no. Today you probably wouldn't use this for any room scale experiences. In the near future, we will be enabling that with a second camera. Our team is working on it. It's not ready yet, so we haven't really been talking about it. But the solution itself is scalable. So today, if you want to get room scale experiences, this wouldn't be the solution you would go for. Further down the line, it's certainly possible. So today, it's mostly the experiences that have been developed for SteamVR, not necessarily for room scale, or the ones that support both room scale and seated experiences.
Cool. And then it costs $400. Is that right?
Yes, $400, or Euro price should be 500, I think, and available 1st of July for, I think, first week of July for pre-orders.
Cool. And does it come with any controller or anything like that, or?
Controller. So we give people, we don't bundle anything, because again, depending on what content you want to play with, you may need a motion controller, you may need a gamepad, you may need mouse and keyboard, so we don't bundle anything in.
Cool. Thank you, Chris. For more E3 coverage, stay tuned to GameSpot.com.